Bruce Cobleigh. This is my 41st year of coaching, so the only thing I've done is I've been in it a long time, I guess. So basically what I've done is I was a head coach for about, I think it was 29 years. Okay, and the last 2 years I went to a school and was the offensive coordinator. I helped one of my former assistants. He didn't have a lot of help, so we went over there and put our offense in. When I got there, they were 7-23. 5 years ago, they were 0-10. We went 14-1 this year with our offense and played for the state title in 6A Georgia, which is big schools. So usually I talk about that kind of stuff, our offense and all those kind of things, but I always like talking about youth. You might say, well, what's a high school coach that's in big schools in Georgia? Because, you know, when we played our state championship game that we played Cobleigh County, which has Russ Provost. I don't know if you guys heard him. That was the guy at Hoover that did the Friday Night Lights. You know, they signed 26 players on signing day. I've never heard of any team do that. Well, you know, he also takes 37 players, got to go over to Alabama to apartments. So it's like the best team money can buy. So it was a tough game to win. We didn't win, but we played them pretty good. But the reason I talk about youth is I want to kind of talk about, how many guys are youth guys in here? Most everybody? Okay, good. Usually they go, well, what the heck is this guy talking about youth for? He doesn't know anything. He's playing 6A Georgia. He's playing with all these Division I players. You know, what does he know about youth? Well, what I've done is, over my career, I started in Massachusetts as an assistant coach, and then I went to Florida as an assistant. I went to New Jersey, had my first job, and we took a team that was 0-10, okay? And, you know, and then I moved to Georgia and got a new school. So I learned real fast that if I don't get down with a youth program, you aren't going to win football games. And that's the big problem with high school football coaches. My youth program, that's the first thing I do. I put more time into my youth than I put into my regular program, because those guys are going to win for you. So usually the youth guys that I have are dads. Okay, they got into it because their son's playing football. Okay, they bring them up, you know, through the levels, and when they get to us, you know, how good those guys coach depends on how well I'm going to do. Okay, so what I do is I make sure that I have a system where I go through all the fundamentals. In our program, I was at Harrison High School in Georgia before I went to this other school, but I was there for 23 years. When I started out, we had a 6th grade team, a 7th grade team, and an 8th grade team. I hired all the coaches. Now, you don't hire youth coaches. I mean, you don't pay them anything. So, you know, so you got to get them on board. Now, those guys are dads. Most of my dads in my program, you know, they might be, you know, they might work at the insurance company, or they might be the construction guy. I mean, they're just regular dads with regular jobs, and they have a difficult time learning the game. So you got to teach them. So I bring them in. We clinic them every 2 weeks. So we bring them in and we get our offense and defense. Next thing we do is that we make sure that I have all my youth coaches practice on my field. Okay? So I bring them all down there. So I want you practicing on the field. I give them the time, and they practice immediately when I end. All right, so at 6:30 our practice ends and my youth program starts. Now we're lucky we have lights and all that, but the youth got to start late anyway because, shoot, our junior high guys, they don't get out of school like 4:30 or something, so they got to start late. So I make sure they come to my field, my practice field. They use my equipment. When I order it, I make sure they got everything that they need. If I have to, I'll put it in my budget to give it to my youth program. All right, so when they come out, all right, I make sure every day, every single day, and I'm not telling you that, I'm just kind of telling you this so if you could, I wish the head football coaches were in here instead of the youth guys. I like to tell them, dude, if you don't take care of your youth, you're going to lose games. You put all this time in and you fight them all the time. And you know, about all this foolishness, that if you get everybody together in the program, everybody wins. So I make sure every single practice they have, they only practice, this is what our guys do. I don't know what you guys do, but they can only practice 3 times a week for, I think, 90 minutes or something. That was like the rules. And then they play on Saturday. That ain't a lot of time to get your guys ready. And then, you know, our youth coaches are like Clark Kent, okay? They're running from their job, getting into a phone booth, putting their coaching thing out, and running out there and trying to coach football, okay? And they didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. So I make sure every day I tell them, okay, I meet them on, I call them up. I usually can't meet them because they're busy. But I'll call them and say, okay, what do you want on Monday? I have my 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade team. I call each one. It says, on Monday, we want a defensive line coach. So I'm sending my D-line coach on Monday. On Tuesday, I'm sending my O-line coach down. On Thursday, on the next day, on the 3rd day, I'm sending my secondary coach. A coach on my staff must be at their practice every day, okay? And when they come down there, I say, well, they're going to walk down, and if they're available. So if you want them to help you with a drill or show you what to do, they're available for you, okay? And if they don't use them, then they just go. But most of the time, they're down there, and they'll spend X amount of time. I got like 14 coaches on my staff, so they only have to go like once every 3 weeks. Yeah, we got a lot of guys. You know, we're a big school, you know, whole deal. And you may not be able to do that, but you could send 1 guy a week down there or 2. And so then we try to work with those guys. Now, why do we do that? When those kids run our O, the rule is this though. With my 6th and 7th grade, and for your youth guys, they're going to run the offense that we run, they're going to run the defense that we run. Now, if you're a dad and you're going to say, well, we're going to do what we did in 1943 or whatever the heck it is, and you teach your kids that, what the high school's not doing, how successful is your kid going to be? You want to kind of mold it all together. So when my kids get up there, I don't have to teach anything. We're cranking. Their fundamentals are like this because they're doing the same thing we're doing. Maybe not quite at the level or you know, like the repetitions is quick, but they know it and they know the terminology, and it's fast for me, and I can teach it, and we can do so much stuff, and I sign so many kids. Division III kids become Division II kids. Division II kids become Division I AA or Division I, because when they come to our school, their fundamentals are sound. We've been working on them forever, and that's just kind of my pitch. So my pitch is just kind of get together with the high school staff, if possible, because that's up to your head coach, all right? But when you do it together, everybody wins. Okay, everybody wins. So that's kind of like my little pitch on youth program. And I go down there all the time. I make sure I'm at every single youth game. So if it's a Saturday, I'm going to the 6th grade. I can't go to them all because they go in a row. It's like, dang, lasts forever. But I make sure I'm at like the 6th grade the first week, the 7th grade the next week, the 8th grade the next week, then I go back. And then we put our program in from the pound ball up. And so they're all running it in my little area. From 5th grade all the way to 9th grade, or 8th grade, they're running our system. And so they get really good at it. And when they get really good at it and those kids know that they're getting coached, they'll come to my school. They'll find a way to get there. Because kids shop like crazy now. That's what happens. All right, now, guys, I'm going to talk about quarterback fundamentals. Now, quarterback fundamentals, this is what I'm going to say about it real quick. Everybody's got like a quarterback coach. You know, they got all these professional guys that teach quarterback play and fundamentals, and they know everything. You go to one of those guys and you do like 400 drills, you know, like drill, all this kind of stuff. My question on those guys, I don't know any of them that have a team. Nobody coaches a team. They're like some quarterback dude, you don't coach no team. So like a lot of this stuff, that fundamentals is, what do you got, 10 minutes to work with a quarterback, 15? Heck, it takes them like 2 hours to do their treasury of drills, all right? So what I try to do is I try to break down the quarterback mechanics to what you actually got to do when you play a game. Because there's just some basic fundamentals that you have to have, and if you have them, kids are going to be pretty good. Our quarterback this year threw for 3,300 yards, okay? So our big thing was was that we made sure that he did not have a quarterback coach. All right? So if you're going to have a quarterback coach, dude, you are not going to throw for 3,300 yards because they teach them things that you don't do. So what good is teaching a drop that you're not going to use? Or what's good at, you know, so you got to come down with what can you do, all right, to teach this kid to throw the football. All right, now, first thing is, when you're a youth guy, all right, and you're working with a young quarterback, all right, if you're usually my quarterback, who's coaching the youth quarterback? His dad, right? Most of the time, all right? And he'll come, it might not be, you know, that's usually what happens. So I'm like, dude, you got to make sure that your quarterback has the right, and guys, I'll give you my email, send you all this stuff, okay? You don't have to, I'm not going to sell or anything, I'll just mail it to you, okay? So, or I email it to you. All right, the thing with a youth quarterback is fundamentals are the key. Poor habits are hard to break. And what happens with a youth quarterback, especially if they're using a big ball? You know, like a basketball player starts shooting from here, or the quarterback starts throwing a ball down here, and they rep it. You know, usually the youth quarterback, he throws 1,000 balls before he gets to high school, but if he's doing poor habits, you can't break it. And if you got a side armor, he ain't getting a scholarship. I'm telling you right now. You think he's going to go somewhere? He isn't. If they don't come high over the top, they're done. So when those Division I coaches look at a quarterback, do you think they're looking at our quarterback because he threw 3,300 yards? They don't care. They're going to look at his fundamentals, height, all that stuff, and see if they think they teach him. If his fundamentals are poor, he's done. Okay? Best quarterback I ever had threw for 4,000 yards, side armor. Okay? He ended up going 1AA. He set all kinds of 1AA passing records, but no Division I school wanted him because he was side arming it. And he did it because he started in like 3rd grade. He was the deal. And he was little and he's throwing the football down like this. And yeah, I couldn't break him. I couldn't get him over the top. Of course, to Dad, that was my fault by the time he was a senior. All right, now, fundamental is the key. Poor habits are hard to break. Thousands of repetitions to take a change of habit. So if you've got to change the kid's habit, it's going to take you, what do they say, 10,000 reps to change a bad habit? All right? So you got to make sure that they're doing it first. Okay? Sports skills are important. My son was a soccer player. Can you believe that? But, because, you know, I'm little and he's little. But what we did is we started him off in the 8th grade doing speed work, you know, fundamentals of running. Okay? And he learned how to run early age. Okay? And we taught him how to do that. And I brought him with my football team and we did all our speed work. And my kid runs 4.38. I guarantee you that he's 4.8 if he doesn't do it. Because he learned at an early age how to do it, and the repetition stuck, and he didn't have bad habits. You know, some of the youth coaches are hard to convince because you're going to hear so many things about, you know, how to throw, or how to do this, or how to do that, that you got to kind of come up to it. So in college, quarterback, that's the hardest guy to scholarship, man. They're going to take one. All right, so your guy might be the deal at quarterback, but if your son or if I have a player that's a D-back, and he can play D-back, free, slot, those guys get scholarships as young kids. Quarterback, that's a hard guy to get scholarship. Okay, movement skills, muscle memory. 8 to 12 is their best muscle memory. So you guys have the kids that you're working with, that if you get them drilled right, they're going to be that's the best. That's the memory that they're going to have in their body, and their muscle memory is best at this age. Like I said, that speed, quickness, and agility with my kid, I worked him at this age right here, and he never got it wrong. So no matter what he did when he was 15, 16, or 17, he did it right. All right, so so throwing mechanics are the same thing. It's just like tackling fits. My big thing is quarterback fundamentals and position to tackle, because if you tackle wrong, kids get hurt. If you put your head in there, there's a problem. So that's really important to me as far as with my youth program. Okay, quarterbacks mechanics. We want to develop proper fundamentals and technical skills. Youth quarterback's usually the dad, so I get the dad. So if the dad's the quarterback coach, I get him in with me, and I just try to say, look, I think I know enough about quarterback play. If you're going to work with your kid, I'd kind of like you to kind of do this stuff, because if he gets with me and he can't do it, the other guy's playing. And best man plays, okay? In our program, best man plays, not like best dad fundraiser or something, okay? It's like the best player is going to play. And my best player better be able to do the stuff I want him to do, or he ain't going to play, okay? So, I work with the 6th and 7th grade more on my own team. Okay, I'm going to do this. First, quarterback problems, side arm or elbow low. First thing, elbows down, you're going to have a problem, okay? So a lot of the youth quarterbacks, they're going to hold the ball down here, and when they throw the elbows down like this, and you got a problem. All right, next thing, is winding the ball up to throw. All right, just winding it like it's a baseball. All right, now baseball is a great sport for a quarterback, but the problem is it's a different throwing action. So, all those repetitions of how to throw helps, but what does baseball players do to strengthen the arm? They throw footballs. Okay, so it takes a while to transverse into that, so you want to make sure the proper positioning. And then your footwork is important, and then shoulder position and follow through. So I'm kind of go through this. First is the grip. So when we do our grip, okay, we want, it's essential that you have the right size ball. Like if you have a bigger ball, use the smallest ball you can for the kid that's legal, because the smaller the ball, the easier it is for his mechanics. So don't stick a big ball like this up to a junior program kid, because he'll just start losing his mechanics because his hand isn't big enough to hold it. All right? So what we do is we're going to have our thumb and middle index finger going to be aligned. It's going to kind of look like this, okay? So if it's like this with a ball, we're going to take this thumb here, we're going to take this finger, and we're going to make sure that it's in the grit, that little knuckle bone is in that seam of the football. We're going to take the second finger and make sure that it's off the laces. So that should be off the laces. The fourth finger should be in the laces, and the third and the last finger, the pinky, should be in the bottom of the laces but not over the top. If you put this finger over the laces like this, you're going to grip it. It's going to get like this, and you want that ball to be out. So, for example, here, that finger there, should see that knuckle? It should be off onto that lace. This next finger, we like it maybe up here a little bit higher. This finger can be on the lace, and that pinky is right down into the seam of the ball. Does that make sense? That's how we've been taught to throw it. To me, that's the best way to do it. So when you come off and that ball comes off, you can take this finger and you see it bent like that, and that can give the turn, it's like a ball coming out of a rifle, and so you want it to get that kind of movement when it comes out. Okay. So we want to get this in the laces, that little finger. We want this, make sure that thumb's off the laces and this one's here. Okay. Next thing is when you hold it is, like everybody says, you want air underneath the palm. Okay. You want air underneath the palm. Okay. So that's kind of how we hold the ball. Okay. Underneath. Now loading the ball. So we're going to talk a lot about loading the ball. Now I'm just going to tell you how I learned everything from, Noel Mazzoni, good friend of mine. You guys are here at UCLA. My whole passing offenses is I've known him since he was at Auburn because he was the offensive coordinator at Auburn. He scholarshiped 3 of my quarterbacks. Okay, so he's a real good friend. I learned all my fundamentals from Noel Mazzoni. So an actual guy that has a team and coaches the quarterback. All right. So first thing we're going to do is when I take the ball, you got to push the ball to the back shoulder. So usually we tell the guys to carry the ball up here. A lot of guys do this ear thing. I don't understand. You don't want to do that. You want to push the ball to the back shoulder. So when we push the ball to the back shoulder, that's how we load it. So we're going to load it to here, so back shoulder. When you load to the back shoulder, we want to make sure that ball is at 45 degrees and the ball is off. The number one thing guys do is this, and tell me if this isn't what your guys are going to do. They do that. They pull it in here and the ball is down like this. All right, if the ball is down like that and I go to throw it, what am I going to do? That's where I'm going to go. All right? If you push the ball, if you keep the ball here, if you do nothing else with your quarterback but push the ball to the back shoulder so the tip is in line, it's at 45 degrees and it's off the shoulder, you're going to that's half the battle to me. All right? So I look at them all the time because this is what they want to do. I'm telling you, they want to put it down here and the ball is down in that position. You want it now when the ball is at 45, that wrist can get caught. Okay, if it's down here like this, it's cupped. So there's a difference between cupping the ball and getting the tip out. All right, so it's off the shoulder, cupped in this position. So when my quarterback gets the ball, I say push the ball to the back shoulder, get it at 45-degree angle, keep it off the shoulder. Okay? All right, so ball's at 45 degree, arms should be held, the arms should just be loose. I don't want to grip it and get it all tight like that. All right, next, so that's how we're going to load the ball. Now, drills to keep the elbow high. So we start out like this, where we're going to have the ball up in the air, so it's up like this, and what I want to do is kind of cock it up. So when you cock the tip up, all right, you get the wrist locked, and it's not cupped, all right? So you lock it up like this. So we're going to get it to this position, so we're going to put the ball up in the air. Now, this guy here I started working with in the 5th grade, okay? In this picture, I think he's now in like the 9th grade. So we're going to get the ball down like that, all right? So we put the ball up in the air like this. Then we're going to get it down in this position so we have the elbows we want the elbow to lead. So coach, if you're up there, I would put the ball up in the air. I suck at this now, guys, so I'm a terrible quarterback. I can teach it a little bit, but so I'm here. I'm going to bring it down like this, and I want to just flip the ball because when I flip it, I want to bring it off like this, push this finger so it's getting that rifle kind of action. So my ball's up here, and I'm going to just flick it so I'm following through. Thumb down, finger follow through, have it come off that laces. All right, so the drill I use, we just come up like this. Just come up, bring it down, and just flick it. Okay, and that'll get you coming off the laces. Yeah, try it, coach. So you put the ball straight up in the air, and you want the ball straight out, elbow slightly bent, okay, because that's going to be the position that we want to come high over the top with. Then you're just going to flick it to me, yeah. But when you flick it, push off so it's like that. So you're pushing off the edge. So I got it up here, I bring it there, and I'm going to flick it like that, okay? Try it again, coach. Bring it up. And then just flick it off. Not too bad. Way to go. All right, so here, he just, see how he flicks it? So he's going to bring it up, down at the 45, and he just flicks it. And that's the position that we want to finish with. So we're really just starting with the finish, okay? That makes sense, okay? And, you know, I work with, this guy's ninth grade right now, okay? This is a 5A team down the road. They just won the state championship, and that kid was quarterback. Okay, I think he's going to Citadel. Okay, here it is again. We want to get that elbow up. All right, we want that fall. We want to just flip it, and that's the end part of our throw. All right, now, loading the ball. We want to push it to the back shoulder. We start a lot on a knee. And the reason we start with a knee is just so I can work my front shoulder at the target, and I want my back shoulder to be thrown at the hard target. I want to load the football, all right, and I don't want, it should be, it says be placed the ear on the top of the shoulder. I like the top tip of the ball on the top of the shoulder. I want to make sure it's off my body. Do not let it push in, okay? So we're going to start like this. Now that's the same kid. Remember in the other show? This is the same kid, but he's, I think he's like 5th grade or something here. So now we're working, I'm trying to load the ball. Okay, here's a flip. This is him when he's little. Okay, this is the same guy, and we're still working the same drill, and he's flipping it. Okay, so he's getting that finger follow through. Okay, so there, and we just work it. And what I did is I would just bring my youth guys up with my older kids. Okay, now, next thing is, all right, so we're going to the progression. We're starting like from the end to the back. So I'm starting with the end throw, and now I'm coming back with the ball loaded. Now, a lot of people don't like this ball on the wall thing, but I do. I'm just going to tell you it works for us. I'm just trying to break it down so I can do stuff like in 10 minutes and then go, because you don't got much time, okay? So I go to the wall, and the reason we go to the wall is I want the ball in this position. Okay, I want the ball high, and I want the ball pointing back this way, because I'm going to load it, and when I load it, that's where I'm bringing it to. Okay, if it's down here like this, I'm going to bring it like this, correct? If it's outside my body, I'm going to bring it to here. So I just start them here to the position I'm going to get to. And then what I want to do is I want to lead with my elbow. So if I'm here, I want to get to there, and I want to flip. Okay? So here's the little guy. Oh, I think I got this. In stills. See, I'm trying to keep his throw high. All right, so he's not a side armor that he's coming over the top. All right, so now he gets to here, and there's the flip, and that's coming over the top. Okay, so we take a lot of pictures of the kids to make sure that we get this kind of action, and then he follows through. All right, so I just find a wall. Whoop. I just find a wall. I'm going to pull, and I want the elbow to lead. So what I'm doing is I'm coming from here, and I want to get to there, and I want to follow through. Okay? If you don't, you're going to get this. You know, this stuff. Because they can throw a nice spiral if you sidearm it, too. But the thing is they got to learn to come high over the top. And if you don't work on it, they're not going to do it. So remember, I say a lot, finger follow through, thumb down. So when I'm here, and I follow through, like this, I want to bring my thumb down like that. And that's the action that I want to get. Okay? So here he is doing that. Now, you can see Noel taught us this. We do, when we all do these things, we put our hand and we make him grab his shirt. Because what do you do when you throw? You want your back arm to do that? No, you want your back arm to do this. Because that's the torque. So when I throw it, that's what I want to get. And if you watch if you get shots up of, I just look at the best mechanics when I look at it's Brady, Manning, and no, Rivers down, sidearm down. It's Brady, Manning, and Bradford. Sam Bradford has really good mechanics when you look at the shots on film and stuff. So I got some stuff up there, and that's the position that they get in.
Is the mound by the fence?
Yeah, I just found a fence, and there's it's the field house, and you don't want a mound up there. It would be a lot better if it's flat. Yeah, yes, Coach.
Coach, on that video there, I see the kid. Are you concerned about his footwork on that?
Not on that. Yeah, not on that. All I want now is the upper body. Yeah, we'll deal with the footwork later. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we're just trying to get the upper body mechanics first. I don't even talk about the footwork because you know what? The research says when you're teaching a kid or anybody that you can't give them like 40 corrections. You just want one main point, stay on it, maybe two. And that's all they can handle. And once they get the muscle memory of it, you can go to the next thing. That's why we grab this here, because we want that done. And if you grab the shirt, they have to do that. All right, so we're always, when we're doing these drills, we're always grabbing that shirt to do it, okay? Yeah, if you guys got any questions, just yell out, And hey, I'm not saying I got the book on this thing. I could, you might hear some people say way different stuff. I'm just telling you what works for us, okay? And I haven't had a quarterback in 20 years that hasn't thrown for at least 2,500 yards, okay? So we start them early, and there it is. Well, you can work it right on the goalpost. You don't need like I had it on the field house and a freaking mound on it. You can put them here, anywhere they can just get to that position. We're going to put our hand on the jersey, and we're going to follow through. See that? Okay, now we started that kid, what? That kid was fourth, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't more than fourth, fifth grade. All right, now he's older, and he's doing the same stuff. All right? So these are just the things that we work on. We don't work on a lot of things. We just work on some stuff to make sure that we have it right. Okay? So here it is with my other guy, and that's just one of the older kids, so I try to get my older guys with my younger kids, all right? Now, this here is one of my players, and Dwayne Alexander. When I retired, Dwayne Alexander is my best buddy, and he was the head coach at Cobleigh University in Tennessee. So I worked with all his quarterbacks. I went up there once a week, and I was there in the summer. And so now these are the college kids. Same thing. We're doing the same thing, just trying to get that elbow lead. And so now we're doing it with the college kids, and they're doing the same thing, okay? So we're doing it from middle school or fourth grade to high school to college. Same stuff, okay? Now here.
His opposite shoulder on that, he has his arm tucked. Is that what you recommend?
Yeah, I just want him to grab the shirt. Yeah, because this is what will happen if you don't tuck it. They'll just do this. And when they do that, they're going to open like that. You know what I'm saying? If they're here, they're going to open like this because you want your chest forward, elbow high, arm down, okay? Now we can do a wall drill from there. Does that make sense? So we'll go wall. I'll say, one of the commands will say wall. So we'll get here to wall it and throw it. So we wall to there and throw, okay? Then we will get on the knee and we'll load it. So we load to the back shoulder, wall, throw. So I just do that to him. I go load, wall, throw. All right, so I just give them the commands. The benefit of being on your knees? The benefit of being on the knees is I can get the shoulder cock. Because I tell them here, cock the shoulder at the target or slightly past, all right? Because what they do is if they throw like that, that ball is going, the front shoulder is where you want to place the front shoulder at the target, the person that you're throwing to. If you put the chest at it, you're out like that. Yeah.
Is that a real good drill to warm up your quarterback?
That's our warm-up drill. Exactly right. Yep. So when we warm up, that's to start basically our warm-up. Takes us like 3 minutes, and we do it like almost every day. Okay, and it takes us 3 minutes to do it. So once they get the mechanics of it and what you want, this is all we do. Okay, and so here we'll go load, wall, throw. Okay, then here we'll go load. We'll do the whole thing with one hand, so he's not even gripping the other one, just so we can work this. Now this is what Noel does, so I'm just telling you what we do here, all right? Is I work all his camps, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to load, wall, throw with one hand. All right? Now, elbow up. Okay? That's how they're leading it. See the hand? So, you know, you just put up these pro guys. All right? There's the release, high off the release. Okay? So you can pull these up on the internet. You're going to see the tight arm, you know, elbow leads. Okay? And then there's Manning. Look at that thing. I mean, that's how, you know, that's significant. He's got the arm, and then that's why he was never taught properly. That guy probably has more talent than anybody. But look at this. This is NFL. Look at that. Okay? And that's an issue. Okay? Because he was a running quarterback, probably never went through the mechanics. You learned to do it wrong. And, you know, it's just too bad because it isn't that hard. You know, and then but to break it, it is. Okay, now a couple other things. Okay? We can start off with a knee. We're going to work it, and we put the ball straight back, and then we load it to here, and then we follow through. And see, that's the action that we want to have. You want your elbow to lead. You want the elbow to lead, and then you're going to follow through with that drill where the thumb is down. All right? So here, we're going to pick I do this a lot because now some of these drills you just do like a couple times and then you don't do them anymore. All right? But you want to work it so they can grip the ball. So this one here this is preseason. This would be early, 2-3 times, and then you probably got to move on. But you put the ball down on the ground and you get them to grip it because you want them to be able to pick the ball up and grip it right. Pick the ball up and grip it right. Catch the snap and get the grip. Fast, because I'll tell you what, we do all these RPOs. We get the ball, we're bang out. You got to grip it. Sometimes we don't even take the laces, but if we can get the laces real quick, it makes it better. All right, so you got it. Right now, the game is get the ball out of there. All right, so you got to get the ball out of there. You got to get the ball cocked and thrown fast. So we're going to reach out, grip the ball. We bring it straight up in the same position, bring it down, and throw. Okay, so we grip it, pull it. And these were the college kids. So we get their mechanics. See how we bring it up in the air, we bring it back to that right here, to that position where the ball is straight back, elbow above the shoulder, or at least at the shoulder. All right, then we're going to pull with the elbow forward. Shoot. See, elbow forward, and there's that flip drill. Okay, so that's just another way you can work it. So we get on the ground, pull the ball up, get it back to this position, follow through. Okay, now, next thing. Okay, now we stand up. So when you stand up, so we do that drill real quick, so we'll go through all that. Now we'll stand up and do it. Now, when you stand up, it's harder for them. They have to shoulder cock. It really works hard. Because a lot of times when you're sprinting out, you got to get that shoulder cocked at the target. So we're going to get our feet together. Now we're going to pull it back. It's harder for them. Put your feet together, get in that position, and then wall, throw, elbow forward. So we're going to get in that position. All right? We want a level platform, so it kind of looks like that. All right? So here, we're going to get it here. We're going to load it, follow through. So this is like a warm-up. We can do this in like 5 minutes. Like Coach said back there, it's your warm-up. It's basically just your warm-up. All right? And so we're going to get that together. So we go feet together, shoulder to shoulder. It takes us like 5 minutes. I've gone whatever amount of time I've had to talk about this to do 5 minutes worth of work. This is just the stuff I think is important, like for me. All right? What we've come down to, all these freaking drills people do, this is what I kind of think is important. You want front shoulder to target, opposite shoulder to target. We tell them, I want you to throw shoulder to shoulder. So shoulder, point at the target, follow through, back shoulder at the target. We're always saying that, shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder. Okay, now, next one we're going to do is we're going to step over the line here. So we're going to have it here. We're going to have the line. And so now I want to start working footwork. So I'm going to go with it with loaded on the back shoulder. We're going to throw, and when I step, I want my shoulder at the target, and I want that front foot going to the target. So the best way to do it is get them on a line, make sure they step past the line, and then follow through at the target. So here we're going to go here, step over the line, and then have both feet following through with it. okay? So we're going to work that. Now, next thing. If you want to make sure that the elbow is in the correct position, just go to the gym, okay, and throw footballs. Tell the kids to throw footballs into the goal, you know, the basketball goal, okay? So we get here and we're going to load and throw. All right, so here we're going to load. All right, now what's wrong with this guy? It's too tight to his body. I guarantee that ball is going over there. It's going to hit right there. It ain't going in. Say, elbow down, right? Okay, next guy. Not too bad. Okay, so this guy here, watch this. I've never worked with him. Okay, so look at everything's that way. Elbow's not high enough. Hands in the wrong position. You know, he's not going to be able to hit it. So here, this fella, that's not too bad. So we come back. It could be a little tighter, but he's leading with his front arm. Finger follow through, and if it's not right, you can't score. So here is this guy. So we film him from back, not too bad. All right, elbow, follow through, and it helps. So it's just a little drill you can use. They have a lot of fun with it, and you know, it's something you can do in the winter. You can watch them from behind, and you can see where their mechanics are. All right, so just something you might want to do. Okay, when we're teaching sprint out, throwing on the run, okay? If we're throwing on the run, we use this drill all the time. We just call it up and back, all right? So what you got to do when you're running, when you're doing any kind of sprint out passing, all right? And I know a lot of guys, they talking about sprint out and falling back like that. I'm like, dude, I mean, that ball is skying. If my guy, every time my guy falls away from a sprint pass, that's a pick. Every freaking time. I don't care what those quarterback dudes say. All right? You have to run at the target, and you got to go shoulder to shoulder, just like we've been teaching them. So when we teach sprint out, we do this up and back drill. So let me see. We get all right. We get them about 10 yards apart, maybe 12. Okay, 10 yards apart, maybe 12. We're going to run at there. We're going to say, load it, just like that, right? Front shoulder at the target. Throw, and we tell them to keep running at the target. Do not stop. Because when you're sprinting out and you stop, your platform goes down like this. Your ball goes down here, and the thing goes skying. If you run at the target, follow through, and keep running, your momentum of your body brings the ball to it. And I can put out my sprint out stuff, and you're going to see balls right on target all the time. Those guys are running right at the target. So we're really passionate about doing this. Now, all these drills here now, we're up to about 5 minutes, okay? This thing here, you do this for 1 minute and they're gassed. And them quarterbacks, they won't run, all right? So they do this crap, and we can get in 1 minute, you know, maybe 30 throws, okay? And you film them and you can see, this kid I've worked with my whole life, this is a good thing. That's the vice principal's son. Smart to work with a vice principal's son, especially if he's pretty good. Get a lot of stuff, all right? So I've worked with him. He's pretty good. This kid here, all right, I haven't worked with that much, all right? So he's not quite as good, all right? So now, next thing we do is we're going to do that. We're going to do multiple balls. So what I do is I take like 4 balls in my hand, and we do that when we just run, and he keeps that 10-yard cushion, and I just toss balls to him. And then they throw sprint pass as I toss the balls, multiple balls to them. And they just drop it on the ground. They throw it, he catches it, he drops it on the ground. And we just go as quick as we can. Why do we do that? Because what's a sprint? You got to catch it, you got to get the grip, you got to throw it, and we just do rapid fire, multiple reps. And you know, all this stuff can take you 10 minutes. All right, all these things. So here, I guess I got these, see, I'm just tossing them the ball, and then they're dropping it. So here, we're at practice. You know, I got the other kids doing it because I'm getting older now. I don't like doing it myself. All right? And we just rapid fire multiple reps. And so they just pick it up. It doesn't matter how many quarterbacks you got. And we just throw multiple balls. Okay? We just keep it repping it quick as we can. Quick as we can. So all you got to do is, and we just go up and back. You can do that in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay? Next thing we do is we like to get circle line. Because when we're rolling out, you know, if I'm in the gun and I roll, okay, you got to make sure you roll in an arcing action. So I could either, if I'm under center, I always like to do this. If I'm in the gun, I roll this way. I go load it, throw, and it's going to get an arc. So we put them on the circle. You know, if we're in the, you know, we're at Cumberland, they had grass. You know, in our field we have a, it's turf. And you know that big soccer circle that goes around the middle? We just run around that thing. It's way easier if you got turf. If you don't, you have to stick cones up and all that. But what we do is when we run that circle drill, we're just trying to get them to run at the target in a circle. Let's see if I got it here. I got these stills here doing it. Oh. I think this is the, I guess that ain't working. I got to get this thing. All right, next thing we do is we put cones. You can be under center and roll at 4 yards, and we go hash to hash. So we go in this position, and we'll go around the cone. We want to get our shoulder cocked, loaded, and run at the target. Okay? So it looks like this. We're here, roll, at the target, throw. Okay? And we just go back and forth. Quarterback throws, he catches it. Next guy gets on that cone, throws it back the other way. So you just go forward, or you can rotate multiple quarterbacks and use one ball and just going from hash to hash. And I put the cone or the quarterbacks in the position where I want the ball thrown. If I want a straight arrow, I put it straight in line. If I want it 5 yards deep, I put them 5 yards. If I want a deeper route, I put them 18 yards away and just keep running it like that. Okay? In the gun, all right, we're rolling out, but usually I sprint out. I open up instead of reversing out. Okay, and we'll just do it that way. Okay, now. Okay, here's, yeah, so we'll just roll out like this. Okay, so we'll just run it right at the gun sprint. Okay, now I want to talk, because I don't have a whole lot of time left. I want to talk quickly about how our footwork is, because now we're in the, how many guys are in the gun? How many guys are under center? Okay, I'm going to go under center and then in gun. Okay, if I'm under center and I'm going to take a 3-step drop, I got to take it, because if we're in gun, we don't take anything more than 3-step drop or no drop. So in gun, you know, we have RPOs and we have quick game, and it's just catch and throw. And so let me go over the gun stuff first. Okay, when I'm going to catch and throw, all right, I got to catch the ball, and a lot of times we just want to sweep it and throw it. So what happens is all these quarterback dudes, that's why I don't want my guy, because they drop like this. That's their first step. They drop, settle, and throw. If I do that, that guy's tackled on the edge. Okay, I want the ball out as fast as I can get it. So if we're throwing a ball to the left and I'm right-handed, I'm going to catch it, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to push off my back foot, where I'm going to push this foot to my heel, put my toe in the ground, and throw. So that's how, if I was throwing a coach, and coach was snapping it to me, it's caught, push here off my back foot, and throw. Or I want it out that fast. Okay, now, if I'm going to throw it this way, this is how those quarterback guys were always telling them. They told them to drop, step, and throw. Dude, that's I'm tackled. That guy's tackled on the edge, okay? Yeah.
Is this for like screens or just?
Quick screens. I do this on quick screens, combos, 5-yard routes, spacing routes, not deep routes. Deep routes, I'm taking a 3-step drop. Okay. This is our combos, our quick screens, our speed outs, all that. And I'll show you what it is on tape here. Yeah. Okay? Yeah.
Do you have a specialized drill, like you said, we run bubbles, quick outs?
Yeah.
Drill for the kid to get over, not trying to spin the ball for the laces, and just grab it and throw it?
Well, basically, what we'll do is, if I'm working this sweep drill, I'm just working with the QBs. Okay? So I will put one QB over here. Okay? If I have 4 QBs. If I don't, then I get the kickers or whatever to snap it to them, 2 QBs, whatever you got. I like to get a snap. All right? So if you get a snap, I'm going to throw it, and I'm going to wrap it. Everybody has 5 balls, 6 balls. Like if you go out to a field, I tell my junior program, I say the number one thing is you got to have balls, tons of them. Because if you don't have tons of footballs, all right, you're not getting any reps. All right? So and when I do all the wide receiver stuff, next, I'll show you how I combine my wide receiver and my quarterback with these fundamentals and how we throw to those guys. So we'll get to that maybe on the next one. Does that make sense? All right, so what I'm going to do when I drill is I'm going to have this guy here. I'm going to have the other quarterback over there. Now he'll be stand up, Coach, real quick. Face that way. Coach, you want to go right there for a second? All right, so he's the snapper. So we have 4 guys. So he's going to snap it to me. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to step to here. I'm going to get that ball thrown, and then toss it to him. He's going to snap it. Nope, throw it to him. Snap, throw. Boom, we're rapid firing like that. And then it's here, but we have multiple drills. So he has balls down there. So when he catches that ball, he just drops it to him. And we have like 6 or 8 balls. It's really important to do that. So you're getting fast multiple reps. So I'm just going to work this. All right? So now when I go the other way, I step up here. Thanks, Coach. And if Coach was here, now I got to throw that way. Okay, so I'm throwing to the right, but I'm catching the football and I got to get it turned. Now, some guys, they drop like this. I never drop. If you drop, you're too late. I'm just telling you. They can do that and they can say they do it. Nobody in college does it. Watch the film of Baylor, UCLA, whatever. Okay, thanks. They are not drop stepping. All right? So how do you get it over there? You could either do this open and cross over and throw. We don't do that. What we do is we quarter eagle. We catch, bang, and I'm pushing off that back foot. Quarter eagle, push my foot in the ground, boom, getting it out. Okay? So now I'm going to work it that way. So I'm going to work to the right. So I'm going to go boom. I'm going to quarter eagle it quick, push the foot in the ground, get it out there. He's going to throw it back. All right? Now, sometimes you might be running zone, or you might have a fake. So you'll ride him, and he's already there, and we're going to stand up, push off our toe. Now, when I drop, I'm going to make sure that when I stick my foot in the ground, and I learned this from Jason Garrett's dad, best football coach there ever was, I'm just telling you. And I was in New Jersey, and Jason Garrett's dad would say, everybody could come down and work out with him. But you couldn't say anything. You keep your mouth shut, and he'll coach your kids. So you bring the kids down. I just watched it. And the Garrett brothers are throwing and catching. And we just worked out with them. And the number one thing he said is you put your toe in the ground and push off your big toe. Okay, a lot of people say keep it flat like this when you push off. He said drive the toe in the ground. That's what I do. If you talk to your kids, they will see you get way more power with your lower body if you put the toe in the ground. So when I'm throwing to the left, bang, I stick my toe in the ground. That's what I want, at my heel, and that's the power I get for that torque. Okay, if I'm going this way, I'm going to quarter eagle, bang, toe is in the ground, I'm pushing off and throwing. So that's kind of how I'm going to do it, okay? 3-step drop now. Yeah, 3-step drop, I'm going to do this. All right, if I'm going to 3-step drop, and we do this only, this is under center, and you can do it if you're in gun, but I'm going to tell you, in ours, we got a lot of rides. And so when we ride, we're not even hardly ever 3-step dropping. We're riding and then standing tall, put my toe on the ground and throw. Okay? Now, if I'm 3-step dropping and I'm throwing to the left, I'm going to drop straight back like this as deep as I can. So I want to get the deep step. Now, usually when I do that, I drive like that. I push off I think my weight on my opposite foot, and that gives you some power, and I kick the first one back. So a lot of times we'll do this drill when I'm trying to push back on 3-step. I drive like this, boom, drive, push it off, drive, and I just have them go chest, heart to heart, like you have 2 hearts. So you're going back and forth like this. So I'm going to drive the first step back. My second step, I'm just going to cross over, and I'm going to stand tall. If I'm throwing to the left, I put my toe at my heel, because you got to open your shoulders. And then, boom, it's just all the mechanics that you have to throw and follow through. If I'm throwing to my right, I'm gonna cross over. I'm gonna step back, cross over. I'm gonna put my toe in the ground, and I'll put my front shoulder at the target, throw my back shoulder at the target. Does that make sense? So that's how we're doing our 3-step drop.